History of the Paris Commune by Prosper Oliver Lissagaray, Part 2. Sorry about this. The camera, the battery ran out. And I don't have editing equipment, so I can't put this together into one video, so I'm just going to upload it as two videos. I actually was almost done right when the video ran out. Right when the battery ran out. But for what it's worth, I'm just going to kind of take a couple minutes to finish up my thoughts. So right when the battery ran out, I was talking about the last third of the book, which is about the fall of the Commune and the mass execution of the communards that took place. The book, it's hard really to do justice to this by summarizing it or describing it. When you read the whole thing and it just describes kind of execution after execution or massacre after massacre, the cumulative effect is to kind of get the reader quite worked up, or at least I felt quite worked up. Like I was so angry while I was reading this about like all these massacres and the injustice of it, even though everyone responsible for this died 100 years ago, and besides which it was in a different country anyway, so it's it's nothing to do with me. But yeah, the cumulative effect is to kind of get you quite angry about it. And I guess if you want an issue to attach to it that has some sort of relevance to modern day, Lissagaray demonstrates or makes a case that the priests and nuns of the Catholic Church in Paris were fully supporting and behind these massacres. So there's some anti-clericism for you. Anti-clericism, yeah. The Paris Commune was, the whole thing was kind of polarizing on religion. The Paris Commune itself was very kind of anti-church, and then the church in return was very kind of anti-Paris Commune. I think, I don't know, maybe somebody who has more knowledge of kind of history can comment on this. My impression is that this was kind of unique maybe to France, and again maybe goes back to the fact that this was largely, at least as far as the Paris Commune government, a Jacobin government or Jacobin uprising, or not a Jacobin uprising, because the uprising was just kind of the working class. It wasn't clearly ideological, but the people in charge of the Paris Commune who got elected to positions on it were Jacobins. So of course the Jacobins have a history of being anti-church. I think like in other parts of the world, or in other parts of Europe maybe, you could have kind of Christian socialism, right? Like this was a big thing in Latin America, Catholic priests with the Marxist revolutionaries. But this was not true in 19th century Paris, maybe because of the history of the French Revolution, or maybe because of the institutional nature of the Catholic Church in France, or whatever. But yeah, the Catholic Church and the Paris Commune revolutionaries really wanted to kill each other. I was going to say hate each other, but like it goes stronger than that. Lissagaray makes a point in his book. The Commune did execute 62 hostages. Some of these were people associated with the Catholic Church. I think there was an archbishop killed at one point. I actually don't... the memory's a little bit foggy on some of this. Lissagaray makes a point, though, that in the case of the Commune, what happened was there were hostages that the Commune has. Nobody in the Paris Commune government ever ordered these hostages to be killed. It was just kind of a mob fury that was not sanctioned by the Paris Commune government. He makes the point, though, that you cannot say this about the massacres that the Versailles government did, supported by the church, which was just a planned, systematic massacre of the proletariat in Paris. Yeah, the last thing I guess to mention is how to get a hold of this book. I don't believe it's currently in print. I got a used copy from Amazon, which I don't remember when that was printed. Yeah, sorry, I'm saying I don't remember a lot, aren't I? This is part of my scripted book review series in which I go through book reviews that I've written years ago to try and make a YouTube video out of it. Anyways, in my case, I got a used copy out of Amazon. It is also in the public domain. I think there are some Marxist websites that publish the whole thing in its entirety. I'm not sure if it would be on Project Gutenberg or not. You could easily check. The whole thing is easily available online, is the point. Or search used books on Amazon. If you're a history nerd, it's worth checking out.